Alright, I'm just gonna give some general pointers and tips for how to play French, and as well some general tips for macro and doing some economy on Age of Empires 3. It's important to get that first villager out as fast as possible. I got it at around 8-9 seconds, that's standard. 7 seconds, that's fast, and 10-11 seconds, that's slow. You generally want to avoid that. I kill my first hunt with 2 curs and 3 goaded crates. That's standard for French. With other civilizations, you do a little bit different. Russia goes 5 on crates. Most other civs need 3 villagers to kill a bison. French only need 2. With those civs, you would need to put 3 vills on the first bison and then 4 or 3 on crates. If you're Dutch, you can do 4 if you're ports as well. And of course, the Dutch need to go to coin after. Also important to scout, of course, as fast as possible to check where your closest herd is. I personally herd very early, before the first minute mark already. I'm herding my first hunt. That's early, but I prefer it that way. Some people go a little bit later. Depends on the civ as well. With autos or German, Russia, you cannot always go that early, but with French you can, so why wouldn't you? I had the worst start in terms of craze that you can have as French. Just 100 wood start, and I think also just 300 food, so that's not very good. That would generally mean that my build is delayed, but I have a 70 wood treasure here that will offset it. I'll not take it now, just to show what for effect it has if you start with just 100 wood. I got 90 coin from the little coin chests around my base. That's nice. That means I don't have to get some more coin. Having 100 wood start will generally delay your age up time by about 4 or 5 seconds if you do not get a good trash like the 70 wood or 60 food or whatever, or even better wood or food trash early on. Normally you age by around 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Now it might be at 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It's not a big deal, but every second counts. Normally I would just do 3 vills on wood. Now I have to do 4 or even 5 to get that house up before my 10th villager comes and my 3 vill shipment. It might seem like I'm a little bit slow because I wasn't actually paying attention, but I should get it in time. So what else is there to talk about? Yeah, well, you want to have that house up as fast as possible. In this case, get that 3 vills out. If you do French, you should always go for that 14 villager age up. That's the best one by far, even though some people prefer to go 12 or 13 if they have a food trash. And play very aggressive. This is okay sometimes on certain maps, and usually it will work because you put on so much pressure against players that are generally lower. If you play against better, higher players, they will usually be able to respond, and if it fails, then you generally lost the game because yeah, well, they had a way better start than you did, and if you do not do enough damage with your early pressure, well, you just wasted a lot of economy time, basically. You can shoot your herd every
Prêt.
10 to 11 seconds.
Votre chasseur.
Shoot it to
Bonjour,
archer frequency,
chasseur.
of course. It's important to get it at around this spot. This is the safest spot. That's where you want your herd to be. Usually, however, it won't get further than this here.
Votre ordre?
You want to kill it I forgot about that. You want to kill your first herd as close to your TC as possible. Why
Votre
do you
ordre?
do
Oui.
that?
Correct. Oui.
You do that because then your outcoming villagers do not have to walk as far from your TC to the dead hunt. Um, that might seem trivial, but
Bonjour.
it isn't. If you don't watch that and your first hunt runs to there, that's a lot of walking time. You do not want to have that. That can delay your age up time
Prêt.
by another 5 to 10 seconds, and that's just
Oui.
something
Chasseur.
you want to avoid. You want to age up to
Bonjour.
colonial as
Prêt.
fast
Bûche
as you
chasseur.
can without actually having idle time with making villagers. So not just as fast as you can, but as
Votre
fast as
ordre?
you can while
Prêt.
making
Oui.
villagers constantly.
Kaka, clap the geese.
Um, so yeah, shoot them all dead
Votre
around
ordre?
here. And if
Bonjour.
you're hurting, make sure you don't shoot the ones you shot already twice, because
Prêt.
then they'll
Très
die
bien.
and you'll
Chasseur.
just
Votre ordre? Chasseur.
waste food because they'll be far from your TC. You won't get all the
Bonjour.
500,
Prêt. Bûcheron. Votre ordre? Correct.
and it will just be a waste.
Oui. Très bien. Bûcheron.
Because dead
Prêt.
herds,
Chasseur. Votre ordre? Je le ferai.
and lose food
Bonjour.
if you're not actually foraging off them. So make sure you don't do that. During the transition, if you do
Prêt. Votre ordre?
whatever build you actually do
Oui.
as French, except if maybe you go FF, you need
Bonjour.
to put 9
Bread
vills
is the
on
blood of
wood,
nations.
7 to 9, depending on how many vills you got herding, of course.
Votre ordre?
But 7 is the
Bonjour.
minimum,
Prêt.
9 is
Bonjour.
what you generally need. You need to get 200 wood, of which 75 you use to get placer mines as fast as possible during that age up, and then you need 125 wood saved up when you hit colonial for that. That's actually why that 25. Some people may wonder that's for steel traps because it costs 125 wood. With the 400 wood, you can get a barracks and a stable out and steel traps, and then with 700 wood you get your houses. But I'll show that later on.
Prêt.
Alright, you saw that? That's actually careless of
Chasseur.
me. I should have made sure that
Bon chasseur.
Vil didn't do that by using shift click. So it won't automatically shoot my herd
Prêt.
away.
Correct. Ramasseur. Bon, très bien. Oui. Correct. Oui.
Alright,
Ramasseur.
I got 135 wood.
Bonjour.
Why did I
Ramasseur.
do that?
Votre
To
maçon.
get these little
Chasseur.
wall segments up for line of sight.
Oui. Très bien.
You put them on
Maçon,
choke points,
chasseur.
so they provide line of sight on these points against raids. Put them here and here because they do not really provide a lot of line of sight.
Votre ordre? Je le ferai. Oui.
If there's not
Très bien.
much space for a
Oui,
unit to pass
chasseur.
by, they will always see a calf coming from here. So basically, I have these sides secured.
Oui. Je le ferai.
Why
Chasseur.
do you do it with a wall segment? Because it has 3k HP. That's more than a house by double, more than double than a house. And your opponent won't be bothered to kill a wall segment, while it
Bonjour.
will definitely kill a house.
Kaka, clap the geese.
Prêt.
Of course, you have to be scouting all the time. I've kind of neglected that a little bit, although most of the map is scouted.
Votre ordre? Correct.
You want to see where your opponent's herds or mines are, so you can raid or whatever. Of course, this is the PC, so he hasn't heard it, but yeah, PC is so OP, it
Prêt.
doesn't need to do that.
Correct.
It appears that again I was
Bonjour.
sloppy and my
Prêt.
villagers
Très bien.
automatically shot this herd away.
Oui,
in the wrong
chasseur.
direction.
Bonjour. Votre ordre?
It
Correct.
could have been a back herd as well. I wasn't
Oui.
paying attention. Back herds are like a pain in the ass on Great Plains. They can absolutely ruin your day.
Bonjour.
If I was playing against a real opponent, I would be so pissed off right now because this is absolutely undefendable.
Oui. Oui.
I won't bother
Très bien.
really now, but
Maçon. Ramasseur.
also it's
Prêt.
annoying because your vills have to walk all the way up there. And if it was here, it would have been way better.
Votre ordre?
Lucky for me, I have like 1,200 foot there, so I'll be fine
Oui.
for a little while.
Prêt. Bonjour.
Alright, I get my sable up
Correct.
first because calf takes longer
Maçon,
to train.
maçon,
Then
chasseur.
I get my barracks. I put my barracks on 9, my stable on 8. 7 is reserved for foundry or special buildings such as a native post.
Oui.
6 is for my explorer. 5 is for my TC. So if I'm here having a fight, I can press 5, press V,
Prêt.
get a
Bonjour.
vision.
Très bien.
Don't have to worry about moving my vision. You'll see where I put my units later. I'll have 1 for infantry, 2 for cavalry, 3 for melee units such as pikes or
Votre ordre?
whatever,
Oui.
halberdiers, or sometimes cav that's going for a raid.
Bonjour,
And
chasseur.
4
Correct.
is for cannon or
Prêt.
special units that are also raiding or whatever.
Bonjour, je le ferai. Votre chasseur. Prêt. Chasseur.
Alright, so you queue a cav, you queue 1 musketeer, then you make a house as fast
Votre
as you
ordre?
can.
Maçon, ramasseur. Oui. Oui. Maçon, chasseur.
Notice how I use shift click all the time, so I don't have to worry about my villager going idle. When I finished it, I just use shift click and then rally it back to where I wanted to go.
Bonjour, ramasseur.
I have my house up. You get 3 cav, that's standard. You get 5 musketeers, that's also standard. And then
Votre ordre?
now you will get a second barracks basically
Oui, je le ferai.
as soon as you have 200 wood.
Votre ordre? Oui. Prêt. Chasseur. Chasseur. Votre ordre? Maçon,
I'm
ramasseur.
building it here sort of to protect my hunts, playing against an imaginary good player that would definitely come here to put on some aggression and some raiding.
Prêt. Maçon, maçon. Votre maçon, chasseur.
And these hunts
Votre
are
ordre?
blocking me. That's annoying.
Oui. Maçon. Ramasseur.
Votre. Oui.
Bonjour. Prêt. Chasseur. Oui. Je le chasseur. Bonjour. Prêt. Votre chasseur. Bonjour. Ramasseur.
Notice how, like, with these buildings, I've protected my forward mine. Why am I here? Because, you want to, early on, usually, if you're not under pressure, you want to get the most unsafe mine and go to that. Because if you do get put under pressure, you can go here, and this then has a lot more on it.
Votre ordre?
It won't be mined
Oui.
out as fast
Bonjour.
while
Correct.
you're under pressure.
Chasseur.
So that's like, it seems a small thing, but it can be so important, because if I had actually mined out this one first and then I got put under pressure, there's no way I could be out here mining without losing villagers.
Votre ordre? Prêt. Oui. Oui.
Just don't
Votre ordre?
watch at
Très
my
bien.
military production. I just missed the badge there. That's sloppy, but
Oui.
this is
Prêt.
just for some general things. In a normal game, of course, you don't want to miss that.
Prêt. Très bien.
And of course, you
Chasseur.
always want to keep scouting.
pkclan.net.
See what your opponent is making. React to that. That's very important. So at the cars I sent 700 wood first, because you need all this wood for barracks and houses and economy cards. Send 4 vills after that, because if you're not put under pressure, you want to have a
Prêt.
very code.
Oui.
And then the next card that's standard to send is 700 coin. If you are under pressure, of course, you can also send 8 bows or 3 cav, or 700 food if you're making a lot of musketeers faster. Why do I send 700 coin? I send it because coin takes longer to gather than food. So even though I'm making musketeers, which of course cost a lot of food, it just means that I can move all my villagers
Votre
off
ordre?
coin to food and wood to get some more houses. And because I have steel
Bonjour.
traps, but I don't have emulgation, my food just gathers a lot faster, so
Prêt. Je le ferai. Chasseur.
that's why I send 700 coin and not 700 food.
Oui. Votre ordre?
That's just standard. If you are put
je
under
le ferai,
pressure,
oui.
units might be a better choice.
Oui, oui, chasseur. Bonjour, votre ordre. Ramasseur. Prêt.
Let's see what's there more to talk about.
Votre. Très bien. Oui.
A good thing to use in a fight
Très bien.
Oui.
is your explorer.
Oui.
Why? It tanks a lot of damage. It has 500 hit points.
Correct.
And in melee
Très
mode,
bien.
it
Oui.
can slow down
Correct.
your enemy army, so you can actually
Oui,
do
je le ferai.
like a
Oui,
flank.
très bien. Votre. Très bien.
Your
Votre
explorer
ordre.
slows
Prêt.
them
Très
down
bien.
so they can't run away. Cav has the same effect, but
Votre
of
ordre.
course Cav has lower hit points than your explorer, as weird as that may sound.
Prêt.
But
Oui.
yeah, that's
Oui. Correct. Oui. Prêt.
a
Très
good
bien.
thing.
Oui.
It will just tank a lot of damage.
Je le ferai.
Just put it with your infantry.
Oui.
Oui. Oui. Très bien. Oui.
Votre ordre. Correct.
Alright, so
Bonjour,
now
votre
my
aide.
700 wood is
Chasseur.
gone.
Oui. Bonjour,
To,
bûcheron.
700
Prêt.
coins, sorry.
Bûcheron.
I'm gonna send 5 villagers to wood to gather wood for a house because I'm coming close to this 770 pop limit. I'm gonna buy 100
Votre ordre.
wood to
Maçon,
make the
ramasseur.
house earlier because I'm gonna need it faster than it will get the 5 villagers together. That's okay to do. The first 3-4 trades are cost efficient. You can just do that, trade it almost one-on-one, even though you pay 25 coin more because of the gather rates and
Oui. Je le
the
fais.
market
Chasseur.
upgrades. It will be actually the same time, so that's alright to do. And of course, if you really need it, you should always do it because at that point, cost efficiency doesn't really matter. Also, for market upgrades, you can get the gray coat if you're being put under pressure, or some people just always get it because it's just 75 food and it's 35%. So basically, you should see it as that your
Oui.
vills has
Prêt. Très bien.
35% more
Oui.
chance to survive a raid
Je le ferai.
with great coats than
Bonjour. Prêt.
without.
Ramasseur. Bonjour. Très bien.
So
Maçon, bûcheron.
it's worth it. I'm gonna get it right now. I usually don't get gang saw that early because I'm not. I usually don't gather a lot
Prêt.
of wood.
Je le. Oui.
I prefer to
Correct.
get TPs up,
Chasseur. Je. Oui.
put them on
Chasseur.
wood instead of actually gathering the wood with villagers. Of course, you cannot always do that. In this case, I'm just gonna do it right now to show it. But yeah, if you're put under pressure, you cannot do that, of course, because you will lose the TPs. So in that case, it's alright to get the to get the upgrade.
Prêt. Oui.
If you
Très
get
bien.
around 30,
Prêt. Je le ferai.
40
Votre ordre.
musketeers,
Oui. Oui. Très
you
bien.
can switch back
Oui.
to cavalry.
Oui.
I'm running out of herds right now,
Correct. Chasseur.
so it's a good
Très
idea
bien.
to
Je le
secure.
ferai. Correct.
Some
Oui.
people
Oui.
like to secure their hunts
Chasseur,
with
bonjour.
towers.
Chasseur.
That can be a good choice sometimes. Sometimes it's better to
Prêt.
box the herd like that. I do that in team games sometimes. It's quite funny,
Oui.
but it takes
Ramasseur.
a bit more time. You have to check what your vill is doing, but it's generally safer. However, yeah, towers can be a nice way to take map. Although
Très
in
bien.
1v1, generally you take
Oui,
map
oui.
with your army and not
Votre ordre.
with,
Oui.
your,
Je le ferai.
with a tower.
Prêt.
In team
Très
games,
bien.
it's different. You take it with buildings more because the map is bigger. Your army cannot be everywhere at once.
Je le ferai.
So if I want to protect this herd, I
Votre
just
ferai.
move some army to there so it won't be raided or attacked.
Votre ordre. Oui. Bonjour. Correct.
Well, that's basically the basic build. From here on out, you can just put on some pressure, you can age, you can do whatever you want.
Prêt.
You can get the TPs
Correct.
up. Wood, which is a nice choice, nice thing to do. Always, if you can, get the TPs up.
Prêt. Très bien. Chasseur. Oui. Prêt. Ramasseur. Oui. Très bien.
You can get the the second coin upgrade. I usually don't get it
Oui. Très bien.
until I'm in H3
Oui.
or after I upgraded
Prêt.
the TPs
Très bien.
because when I'm making musketeers, you do not need that gold so much, and you do need the wood. So I usually just leave it.
Votre ordre. Chasseur.
Of course, in H3 you go
Oui.
skirmishers, you go dragoons, so you're definitely gonna need that upgrade to gather gold faster. It's 20%, I thought, so that's a lot.
Prêt. Je le ferai.
Yeah, well,
Votre
I'm gonna
ordre?
finish
Oui.
this TP upgrade.
Correct.
Say
Prêt.
something about that.
Votre
that
oui,
some
je le ferai.
people- Most people don't
Chasseur.
know. And then I'm gonna finish this up for today.
Votre chasseur. Prêt. Chasseur.
Votre ordre. Oui.
Also, if you go for a
Votre
raid,
ordre, je le
let's just
ferai.
talk about that.
Oui.
So I'm waiting for the TPs to finish. If you go for a raid, don't
Votre
go with
ordre,
all
oui.
your cav unless you know that like his
Votre
entire
ordre.
villager population is somewhere unprotected.
Oui.
Raid with small
Prêt.
groups, 3-4, and raid simultaneously. That's a lot harder to respond to.
Votre
than
ordre. Très bien.
one big
Chasseur.
group of 20 cav or whatever, which also leaves you vulnerable at other spots because you can just go like, fuck it. You're there with all your cav. I'm gonna attack the infantry, and you do not have enough army together to defend against that because yeah, you chose to go raid 3 villagers with 20 cav. Which
Oui,
is
oui,
just an
chasseur.
overkill. You don't need to do that. So yeah, that's important.
Bonjour. Masse bûcheron.
Think about it's way harder
Oui,
to
votre
defend
oui,
small
ouais.
raids. 3 cav is about the best you could do, and raid all over the map. Of course, you can watch the map, do that constantly to see for dead vills, dead hunts. So I know now that he's herding there, even though I do not have a scout present. I can see it, and I can see it now that he shoots it, so I know he's there still.
Oui.
Also, at a certain point, you know he will be running out of mines, so you just check where are the mines, and you send some cav there.
Très bien. Je le
Check
ferai.
if he's there. If he's not there, you check the next one. It's also good, like, to send
Right.
a villager
Correct.
later
Oui.
in the game to
Maçon,
cross the
je le
map to
ferai.
secure the mines, just with some vision, so you know that if he moves out
Oui.
there, you can respond immediately to that threat.
Oui.
Another dead
Prêt,
hand here,
votre
so
ordre,
I know
prêt, je le
he
ferai.
was here,
Oui.
he's not here anymore.
Je le ferai. Oui.
Alright, so right now I'm upgrading the TPs. I'm gonna go for an age later on. Probably won't. The TPs will be finished before that. What's nice about TPs is that you invest on Great Plains at least 700 wood into it. And the earlier you do this,
Votre ordre?
of course,
Oui.
the more it will
Bonjour.
pay off
Votre
longer in
ordre?
the game.
Votre ordre.
Bonjour.
Oui. Chasseur.
But what's so nice about it is that it's basically an immediate payback.
Bonjour. Correct. Chasseur.
People don't realize that, but it's true. Once you upgrade the TP, you get 122 XP in this case for each out trade post that you have. So I have 2, so I'll get 244 XP as soon as this finishes. You will see 122 XP just as if a card passed. If you do that early, that's basically one new shipment. So in that case, you have spent 700 wood. That's one shipment spent, and you get one back immediately. Plus the first run, you put it on wood or whatever you need. So basically, the first run it's already paid back. So even if I would lose these TPs right now, they would already have paid for themselves. Of course, that's not entirely true, because you also grant an advantage to your opponent. So you do not always want to upgrade it, because if your opponent also have a TP, some persons like don't want to give them that. For me, I'm like, if I have 2 of them and I can defend them both, I don't see why I wouldn't. It's just I'll still be
Oui.
having the advantage because I have 2 and you have 1 and you cannot kill them. So why wouldn't I do that? Makes no sense. So yeah, usually I put the TPs on wood because wood gathers the slowest.
Très bien.
I
Ramasseur.
can move these
Prêt.
back to coin now. I have a steady income of wood. I won't have to worry about anything.
Votre ordre?
And TPs, these two TPs are worth like 8 villagers on wood in terms of
Oui.
res per second.
Très bien.
It differs
Votre ordre?
on each map, of
Oui.
course, but
Correct.
it doesn't differ very much. Each
Votre ordre?
TP
Chargé.
gives about the same income.
Oui. Je le
What
ferai.
does matter is what I talked about earlier. Of course, the higher this number is, the more XP you will get. So the better that is when you upgrade it. So if you are Spain on Great Lakes, for example, you get 4
Bonjour.
TPs,
Prêt.
you
Oui.
upgrade it.
Correct.
That's a shitload
Chasseur.
of XP. That's
Oui.
like almost 2
Chasseur.
shipments.
Très bien.
2
Chasseur.
shipments worth of XP that you get. Because of course Spain get faster XP. And it's already a lot because each card brings about 250
Oui.
XP.
Prêt. Très bien.
So yeah, that's it for now. In H3, cannon, dragoons, cures, skurs, good cards to send. 1,000 wood if you want to boom, get TCs. Swiss spikes can be nice in certain situations. Skirmishes, cures, and Swiss spikes, that's a very good combo. Alright, that's it for today. See ya.